Coming up on this week's edition of the Met Report, Metro sports teams were back in action, and we are coming down the home stretch to the RMAC season.
Also, one man breaks multiple world records from the edge of space. Does he survive?
And a valuable resource for Metro students that could be taken away. We tell you why.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Met Report. I'm Peter Aragon.
And I'm Lieka Bryant. Many students here at Metro get to take advantage of different programs here on campus, but one program that Metro just got back might be going away. For more, we turn to Kelly Matzner.
Thank you, Lieka. Oftentimes as students, we find ourselves at the mercy of changing policies, increasing tuition, and increasing fees. It's a rare and liberating moment when we're given the opportunity to vote on the fees and programs that create the educational community we spend the majority of our days involved in. One such program was put to the vote of the Metro student body last spring and ended up raising the question of if the value of student interests hold any actual value to the administration beyond dollars and cents. Aragon, a provider of free and confidential resources and assistance to survivors of interpersonal violence. This includes rape, assault, domestic violence, and stalking. The program was cut for the 2011-2012 school year and revisited in budget talks for the 2012-2013 school year. Students voted 991 to 640 in favor of using student fees to fund the program. The Board of Trustees were not in favor of the fee increase due to the fact that they felt similar services were offered by the health center and that, quote, President Jordan is trying to keep fees down, understanding that tuition is going to go up. End quote. Fee is $2 per student per semester, $1.50 less than the cost of most daily parking on campus.
The function of the Phoenix Center is really to be able to provide victim services to students, faculty, and staff addressing issues of intimate partner violence that can occur and providing immediate services. There is a lot of passion around this issue. We know that these services are valuable. We really want to make sure that other students at Metro have access to them.
The board did end up approving the fee increase for the 2012-2013 school year and will revisit the issue this coming spring.
Generally have about 2 walk-ins a week, and about a week and a half ago we had 9. Of those 9, 6 of them were Metro students. Because of the student fee coming into place, Metro students are coming in, and that yes, there was apparently a need that we may not have been able to tap into or address for an academic year.
And we weren't able to get any statement from the Board of Trustees regarding the future of the Phoenix Center, but if anything develops, we'll be sure to keep you posted.
Well, hopefully students do pay attention to it, and we'll make sure to keep looking for that story.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Kelly. Students, your Metro ID can now make your life a lot easier. Say hello to smart IDs. Metro is becoming a high-tech university by implementing IDs that allow you easy access to campus resources. Your smart ID allows you access to the campus rec, buildings, and classrooms, even accessing your personal information. IDs are now available at the ID Center in the Tivoli Student Union. Get yours today for $15, and even better, swap your old one for a lesser price.
Smart card technology won't utilize that mag strip. What will happen is there's new IDs now with microchips embedded into the ID. It has access capability in regards to opening and unlocking doors if need be. Ultimately, it's the goal of RTD and Metro as well as Aragon to combine the smart cards into one card, so your college ID will also be capable of being swiped at the RTD bus.
Metro State professor Scott Lubinski won the prestigious Theater Educator of the Year award for higher education a month ago. The award is given to professors who have a major impact on students in the field of arts and theater. Tune in next week as Met reporter Callan Stone sits down with him to talk about this tremendous honor.
Well, midterms are here, and that usually means additional stress for students. There are many different methods of studying, but which one is the most effective? Aragon Mazzani has more on the effective ways for studying for exams.
With midterms right around the corner, student stress increases around this time of year. We also have diverse methods when it comes to preparing for our exams.
Most of the time I read out of the book and then I write it down just to memorize it, or I make note cards a lot. That also helps. Just reading through the book and understanding what's going on helps me a lot.
I study with note cards. I write everything down in my note cards, and then I take about 3 hours every day to study it and memorize the note cards.
Although most students seem to think that note cards are an effective way of studying, Dr. Mike Mansour gives us a different path to success.
As soon as you find out when the test is being given, you decide what grade do I want to make on the test. Second thing you do is figure out how many hours do I need to study to make my A, B, C, D, or whatever. Once you've got those two pieces of information in place, you know exactly when the exam date is. And then you spend a few minutes and you go ahead and you map out what times of the day you'll study in order to get the total number of hours that you need to study in order to get the grade that you want to get on that particular exam.
Whatever your preferred method, just make sure that you allow yourself plenty of time for studying. It is also essential for students to make sure they are receiving an appropriate amount of rest. For the Met Report, Aragon Mazzani.
Thanks, Aragon. The Hospitality Department Senior Experience class is planning its Namibia Desert Safari trip for May 2013. The African Bush Classroom will give students the opportunity to search for desert adapted elephants, rare black rhinos, and elusive lions. Teachings will include safari park management, animal tracking skills, the environment, cultural landscapes, and much more. If you are interested in this trip, contact Hella Sorensen at sorensenseh@mscd.edu.
Students often complain about the lack of food options here on campus. That was until the food trucks arrived, but in a couple weeks that might change. Nina Databoy has more.
Thanks, Peter and Lieka. I'm outside the Tivoli Student Union, where just last month the PodSoc committee decided that students will not have the option of choosing food trucks if a policy is not developed within the next week. The PodSoc committee, or Policy Development and Shared Operations Committee, was tasked by the Auraria Board of Directors to create a food truck policy earlier in 2012. Parts of the policy will have a big effect on students and student organizations. Food trucks will be limited to campus just 1 day a week, Mondays. Second, each institution will rotate reservation priority on a weekly basis. And third, students will only be able to choose from 4 different food trucks that are designated only at the Lawrence Way turnaround between St. Cajetan Center and the King Center. Student body representatives expressed their opinions about the proposed policy.
That it's not really putting students first, and that student organizations are going to be highly limited in terms of how many events they're able to have with food trucks present. And it's going to really affect students and the student organizations in terms of their fundraising opportunities.
I don't agree with the current food truck policy, and I'd like to see more student involvement in the decision-making process.
Now, PodSoc has said that if they do not reach an agreement by next Thursday, they will not be allowing food trucks on campus any longer. For the Met Report, I'm Nina Databoy.
Now, we did attempt to contact AHEC administrators, but they were unable to comment.
There is still time to enter the Office of Student Media Costume Contest. Simply post your terrifying pictures by the 23rd of October to the Student Media Facebook page or email them to metrostudentpics@gmail.com. 5 participants with the most likes on Facebook will be chosen as finalists. The winner will have their photo featured in the Metropolitan and win a pair of tickets to the Frightmare Compound. 2 runners-up will also receive tickets.
So, Lieka, what is your terrifying costume this year?
I'm a cat.
Cat. That's not terrifying.
Not really.
All right, well, I'm going to go as a terrifying Kevin Hall and wear shorts when it's 20 degrees outside.
Good plan.
Let's try that. Coming up after the break, with the RMAC tournament right around the corner, Metro sports teams are looking to make a run during the rest of the regular season.
And with the weather changing, we have some tips for you to be ready for those tough drives ahead.
And speaking of the weather before the break, here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Here's your 7-day forecast. Saturday, partly cloudy with a high of 75 and low of 50. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, all sunny days with ranges in the 70s. That changes on Wednesday with possible showers, and it cools off Thursday and Friday with highs in the low 60s and mid-50s. For the Met Report, Karen Vega.
Believe in yourself. Realize that anything is possible. Keep your eyes on the prize.
When you're at your weakest point, grace can rise up and pull you out.
So I felt like I was filling a void.
Even when I'm faced with difficult situations, I can always find something to smile about.
Little simple ways. I mean, there's really a lot of things you can plug into.
Welcome back. What started out as a suspicious fire quickly turned into a homicide investigation. Early Wednesday morning, a Glendale police officer responded to a fire at Farrell's Bar and Grill at about 2 a.m. While fighting the flames, Denver Fire Department pulled out 5 bodies from the fire. The Denver Medical Examiner's Office identified the victims Wednesday afternoon as bar owner Young Farrell, 63, Daria M. Fowl, 21, Colleen Fallon, 44, Ross Richard, 29, and Teresa Beasley, 45. Denver police have 3 men in custody. Dexter Lewis and brothers Joseph Hill and Lionel Hill were all arrested Wednesday night. Investigators said the motive for the killings was a robbery gone bad, and the suspects set the fire to cover up the murders. All 3 suspects are expected to be charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of felony murder, arson, and aggravated robbery.
Technology companies in the Rocky Mountain region have been given a boost from an organization that hosts an annual business plan competition. An MSU Denver professor was selected as a regional finalist this year. The Rocky Mountain region held their awards gala last week and selected 3 regional finalists to compete at the national level. The 3 winners include a manufacturer of energy-efficient quantum dots, a sewer cleaning company with a revolutionary new process, and a design group headed by MSU Denver professor Hank Scott that builds collapsible airline seats. Finalists receive cash and in-kind services, including legal help, marketing advice, and venture capital. MSU Denver aviation professor Hank Scott tells the Met Report about his experience.
I absolutely recommend the Clean Tech Open for anyone who's in a barn and thinks they're an inventor and wants to become someone who is at the other end of the game, a CEO or retired or whatever else. I absolutely recommend it. It's amazing.
The Met Report would like to congratulate all the companies who competed this year.
Australian daredevil Felix Baumgartner does the impossible and jumped from the edge of space. Felix broke world records with the jump, broke the highest balloon flight, highest skydiving record, jumping from 128,000 feet, the first person to break the sound barrier while not in a man-made vehicle, and reaching a top speed of 833 miles per hour. The descent to Earth in all took 4 minutes and 30 seconds before Baumgartner landed safely in Roswell, New Mexico.
The presidential candidates squared off in another debate this week, with the election weeks away. As the political season heats up, the campus is ablaze with interest. The Met Report asked area students and faculty about their impressions of the second debate.
I think they went toe-to-toe on most points. I think it leveled the playing field a little bit more for me.
My overall impression was that the president avoided the questions.
Well, I think that Obama, he had some really good things to say. I think that Mitt Romney is kind of mischievous.
President Obama backed his points up with data.
Romney didn't provide specific answers.
There aren't very many major differences between the candidates. The 2 major parties have sort of focused themselves into a very narrow set of issues that they quibble over and never really solve.
They were both evasive, and I think the real loser is the American people.
Well, the hot season is over, but there's a wildfire in Colorado that continues to burn. The Fern Lake Fire, located in Rocky Mountain National Park, continues to burn this weekend as firefighters battle high winds and mildly dry conditions. The fire has scorched 630 acres of mostly beetle-killed pine trees and is currently 30% contained. The fire is burning in steep, rugged terrain that is too dangerous to attack from the ground. No structures are threatened, and 2 heavy helicopters were available to drop water on the fire Thursday. Investigators are currently looking for a potential suspect. If you have any information about the fire, call 970-586-1381. If you are awake Tuesday night, you may have witnessed Colorado's weather at its most ferocious. Wind gusts of up to 89 miles per hour were recorded on Tuesday night, and according to the Denver Post, over 53,000 XL customers lost power during the storm. Many trees were mangled and even ripped out of the ground all over Colorado, including the neighborhood just south of campus. Whether it was damaged cars or crushed fences, people woke up Wednesday morning to a different looking neighborhood than they fell asleep to. Some may not be aware that property owners are responsible for the cleanup of debris not only in their land, but the public property adjacent to their state. There are options available as Denver Parks and Rec are providing branch disposal at 2 different areas in Denver. You can take your mangled trees to the Havana Nursery located south of Smith Road and Bremen Park North at 2144 West 6th Avenue. These 2 drop-off sites are open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. through Sunday.
Winter is just around the corner. Lennox Williams tells Metro students how to prepare for colder weather.
It has been 3 weeks since the beginning of fall. I'm here on campus checking with students to see if they are primed for the winter season. The word prepared can be in the back of students' mind as they adjust to the snow, which is right around the corner. The speed of traffic will be dramatically reduced. The time has come to break out the snow boots, jackets, and gloves.
First thing I did was buy myself this classy hat. And I got myself like 2 or 3 flannels.
I wouldn't really drive in the wintertime because, it's like the ice and people, driving reckless and stuff like that. I usually like taking a bus.
A survival kit is a must, which include jumper cable, tow rope, flashlight, screwdriver, pliers, a pair of hard gloves so your hands will be warm for a tire change.
Yeah, I can get my radiator flush next week, got the winter tires put on, make sure I'm ready to go when the snow comes around.
If it's a hot day, still bring your snow caps with you. You never know, in Colorado, we may have 4 seasons in one day. For the Met Report, Lennox Williams.